Mindset, a daily dose of practical wit and wisdom with a professional educator and trainer, Amazon best-selling author, United States Marine, television and radio host, Paul G. Markel. Each episode will focus on positive and productive ways to strengthen your mindset and help you improve your relationships, career goals, and overall well-being. Please welcome your host, Paul G. Markel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. It's time for Morning Mindset, and I am your host, Paul Markel, and I thank you for joining me once more. And yes, I am sipping on a cup of coffee. It's good coffee because why? Well, because life is too short to drink bad coffee, and I think that many of you out there probably share that feeling with me. Today, I'm going to talk about something that you probably never thought about, or a phrase that you may have said and thought that it sounded reasonable or correct or wise or what have you. And we do this a lot. We do this often in our lives. We regurgitate phrases. We say things that we have heard other people say because, well, we heard other people say it and it seems reasonable, or it seems wise, or it seems thoughtful, or maybe it seems cool to say that, or what have you. And today's phrase is, I'll do that until it's not fun anymore. I was having a conversation with a friend recently, and we were talking about our career paths and all the different things we do. And, you know, like myself, he does a recorded podcast show, but he also does training and he does coaching and he does a lot of different things. And he said, he used the phrase, he goes, well, you know, I'll do this until it's not fun anymore. And I said, you know, I actually had a business partner once, somebody who was working with me on a project. And that person said to me, when we started, he goes, well, I want to tell you this. I'll stick with you and I'll do this with you until it's not fun anymore. And of course, at the time, you know, I said, okay, you know, we're excited when you have a new project or a new business or new anything. Everybody's full of, you know, excited emotion and hope. And they're like, oh, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. It's going to be wonderful. Everything's going to be great. You know, we're all geniuses and we all have the best product in the world. Well, after, I don't know, a year or so, maybe a little more, this person approached me and they said, you know, I told you that I would do this with you until it wasn't fun anymore. Well, it's not fun anymore. And I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go my separate ways. We're going to go our separate ways. And I accepted it. And I said, okay, that's fine. I accept your feelings or reasoning or what have you. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought that phrase in and of itself, and I'm sure you've probably heard it, you know, from someone else, or maybe you said it yourself. If you examine it honestly, let's do this until it's not any fun anymore, or I'll do this job until it's not fun anymore. I'll work on this project until it's not fun anymore. Well, who is all about fun? Or what group of people or classification of people are all about fun? Children, right? You know, if you want children, you know, to read, if you want children to study, when we want children to do something, what do? You know, as parents, we turn it into a game. Because if you turn it into a game, it doesn't seem like it's a job or a chore, and the kids like it. They'll do it. We do this with songs. We do this, you know, school teachers, elementary school teachers, kindergarten teachers, whatever. They turn everything into a game with rhymes and prizes and rewards and what have you, because when you're dealing with a child has very, very immature emotions. They're very mentally immature because they haven't had time to mature yet. And so what we do is we make things fun, or we turn things into games in order to get kids to do it. You can't explain to a 6-year-old that it is their duty and responsibility and it is the mature and right thing to do X, because a 6-year-old doesn't have that kind of mentality. They don't understand duty or moral obligation. They understand fun, what's fun and what's not fun. And if it's fun, I'll do it. And if it's not fun, I won't do it. But at some point in our lives, we have to, accept the fact that, you know what? Not everything is fun. And not everything that is perceived as fun is going to always be that way. Now, I've in the last 10 years or so, I've ventured out and I've done television. I've been on other people's TV shows as a guest, and I've done my own show. I've done radio. I've done live radio. I've hosted shows. I've done podcast shows. I've done pre-recorded shows, and I've done a lot of things in front of a microphone or a camera. And to someone who's never done that, and through that, I've gotten to know a lot of directors and producers, and people who act and so forth, and musicians as well. And people who are on the outside looking in, you see someone who's on a TV show, and you think, man, that is so cool. That would be so cool to do that, to be on a TV show. It really would, or a radio show, or to be a musician, or whatever in the movies. And yeah, it can be. It can be very exciting. It can be very fulfilling or rewarding and fun. You get to participate. You get to play with other people in front of a camera. You get to do things. You get to go places that other people. But it's not always that way. Sometimes it's really frustrating. Sometimes it's not fun. And I know you're like, no, but man, you get to be on TV, or you get to do radio, or you get to do this or that. And that's got to be fun. It's got to be great. Yeah, it can be. But it is everything at some point in time, no matter what. Well, people who sell candy, or people who make balloons, or, people who seem to have the most fun job in the world. Every job or everything you do eventually becomes a job. And there will be times when you don't really want to do it. You'd really not do it. Or you'd rather not do another take. Sometimes you just don't want to do another take. Sometimes you feel like that was good enough. Let's do it. But you do it again because that's what needs to be done. Now, it's not fun, but it's what needs to be done. So when we look at that phrase, I'll do this until it's not fun anymore, or I'm willing to do it until it isn't fun anymore. Maybe instead of the word fun, we should be substituting the word rewarding. And this is what I talked with my friend about recently. I said, and he said, yeah. And that's what he said. He goes, I never thought about it quite like that, but he said, you're right. Really, I should substitute the word rewarding for the word fun, because things can be difficult. Things can be tough. Things can be a bitch, but they can still be rewarding. Physical training, lifting weights. When you get underneath a barbell and you're trying to squat more weight than you ever have, that's not fun. That really isn't the definition of fun. Most people, when they're in the hole at the bottom, when they get down there, they're not thinking, wow, this is the most fun I've ever had. But we do it. Why? Because when we're finished, we see the rewards. So the next time you hear someone say that, or the next time you think that, well, I'll do this until it's not fun anymore, maybe, just maybe, you should substitute the word rewarding. And you could say, honestly, you're like, I'm going to do this job until it is no longer rewarding. I'm going to participate in this activity until it is no longer rewarding. And that actually is a better way, or a more honest way to look at it. And I've had jobs that I started and I was excited and I thought I was going to be able to do good things. And then eventually that job was no longer rewarding. And so I left. So the next time you hear someone say that, say, fun is for children. Rewarding is for adults. I'm your host, Paul Markel, and I will talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for spending time with us today. To get show notes, submit a topic request, and for more from your host, Paul G. Markel, visit morningmindsetpodcast.com. That's morningmindsetpodcast.com. Please leave a review for this podcast on your favorite podcast player. We appreciate your time and effort, and we look forward to reading your honest feedback.